to my channel. If this is your first time here, hello, my name is Mika. Thank you so much for stopping in. Sorry about the chirping, you guys. My fire detector battery died and I took it down to try to change the battery and I have no idea how to change the battery. So I apologize. You're gonna hear that chirping. It's really annoying, but we're gonna get through this anyway. So I just want to stop in and do a quick video just about managing your thoughts, or being able to manage your thoughts when it's raining. So what I mean by that is whenever you find yourself in the storm or in a bad time or have a rainy day, your thoughts start to take over and consume your body. You start feeling like failure, you start telling yourself bad things, but this is the time to really test your faith, if that's what you believe. But for me, like when storms come, instead of harvesting on them, I try to tell myself, you know, this is a test, and then I think of more positive ways I can view the situation. For example, so just the other day, my car got towed from my apartments. And it wasn't parked illegally. It wasn't parked like in a handicap or visitor spot or anything like that. We don't have visitors parking. And I honestly don't think we have handicap parking outside. But the problem was because I forgot, when I was new to the apartment, I forgot to register my car to my apartment complex. I forgot to do that. They use an outside source. So even though I did the paperwork once I signed my lease to move in, I had to do an additional 2 steps, and go online, find this company that they're contracted with, register my car, and then get approval for my car to be parked at this apartment. And you don't get a placard or a sticker or anything, it just goes in their database. Well, I remember her talking about it, but I was under a lot of stress during the time when I was getting ready to move, because I honestly didn't know what I was going to do. And at that time that I was I was in position to move, I was still having second thoughts. I was not, 100% trusting God. I was like, how am I going to pay this rent? At that time, I was a week before I started this job. So I was just, doubting God. And after my first experience with moving to Houston, and being promised a job, and then they turn and say, oh, well, you don't have the job right now. You have to wait a couple of weeks. And it was a mess. So it made it hard for me to trust Houston. I mean, I came in on a bad vibe. And so because of that, I just really wanted to start my job first, just to have that security, and then get my apartment. But things didn't work out that way. That wasn't God's calling on my life. He wanted me to have trust. And so I did it, and I moved in, and I was so afraid, and I didn't have anything, and I was just like, what am I doing? Like trying to figure out, calculate. Like I was so focused on calculating my bills and trying to calculate what I thought I would get from my job. It was a mess. I just honestly it was a gray area. I wouldn't say it was a dark area, and it wasn't a light area, because I was still trying to figure things out. So because of that, I completely spaced it. Like I remember her talking about it, but I had been here already over a month in this apartment, and then it now decided to tow my vehicle. So mind you, I mean, every day I park in the same spot. I speak to the contractors. I see them outside sometimes, like the trash people and neighbors and maintenance and everybody. And everybody's all nice, and everybody's been very nice to me. And so I just couldn't wrap my head around, why now? Like I didn't understand, and it was like I didn't get a warning. Usually they'll send out little messages like, just letting everybody know, like maybe there's a storm coming through. They'll send out, we pay our rent online, so it's like a mass text messaging kind of thing. And they'll tell you like different things that's going on in the community, or if somebody, if something bad happened, like in the areas around us, they'll let us know. And so I was just like, I'm used to apartments. If they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to start towing people's vehicles, or, if they are going to are finding people for parking in the wrong spots or whatever, they typically send out a letter, or they put a letter on your door to say, starting on this date, we're starting this. And then that would have reminded me, like, oh yeah, I still got to figure out that website that I need to go on just to see, just to make sure I register my car, because I never had to do that. And I understand this is a different state than Indiana, obviously, but I didn't think about it. I just was like, well, whole month went by. My car's in the same spot every day. They didn't mess with it. They didn't set out an alert, or warning. So I was thinking I was okay. Well, woke up in a great mood the other day, on Monday, and I just had I felt great, and I was ready to do the Lord's work in my life. I know my purpose, I feel like, is just to just spread His word. Not necessarily the gospel or anything like that. I'm not to that extent, but it's just like, let people know how I got to where I am, or just be helpful to somebody, help out the needy, give to people, things like that. So I was in a good mood, and I was ready and prepared, and I work in the medical field, so I'm ready to get my day started. I'm excited. And I go outside, I'm ready, and luckily I leave early. I always like to get to work early because that's my time to unwind and watch motivational videos, write, talk to God, whatever I want to do in that time. And plus, traffic here is crazy, you never know, so it's good to leave early so you have time, make sure you do get to where you need to be on time. And then, like I said, just have time to just take for you, and you're not rushing from your car to the building to your desk trying to get started for work. I don't like that feeling. So I left out early, and so I go outside, and I'm like, my car's not here. Instantly, I didn't know what to think. All these cars are outside, same cars I see all the time. My car was gone, and someone else was parked in my spot. So I was thinking, what happened? Knowing what I've learned about Houston, or what people said to me about Houston since I've been here, is that car theft is one of the main issues here. So I was just worried that my car got stolen. I didn't know what to do. And luckily, it was a tow guy outside. He was driving a tow truck, but he wasn't towing anybody. He was just driving around. So I stopped him, and he was nice. And I asked him if my car got towed. He told me he wasn't aware of my car getting towed, but he just was like, here's the number. There's numbers on the fence that you can call, but also here's the number, you can give them a call. So I did that. I called. And they were like, yeah, we have your car. So I was down. I was like, you took my car. I'm like, I have an hour to get to work, and I didn't know what to do. So I called up one of the ladies I've met, and I was just talking to her about it, because I'm freaked out. And she was like, oh, and luckily she came and picked me up. That was a blessing. So that was one blessing. And then when I talked to the tow people, they told me that it was going to be $240 to get my car out, and there's nothing I could do about it. Even with proof of me having my lease that I live here, they said that there was nothing they can do about it, because they said that my apartments reported my car as trespassing. So, in that moment, of course, I started thinking negative, maybe this is just a sign I'm not even supposed to be here. You started thinking the worst, or I'm thinking how foolish of me, blaming myself tremendously, I'm so ignorant, why would I forget to do that? Now I'm spending money I don't really have, and I was upset. And so when I talked to the guy, he told me, well, you have to midnight. After midnight, it'll go up to $50, additional $50, and so on, until their cutoff date of keeping my vehicle. All right, so the same lady, she was very sweet and was like, well, just let me know if you need to arrive to go get your vehicle after work. And I was like, yeah, okay. So she was a blessing to me, and she took me to get my car. She went all the way out of her way to take me to get my car. So I get to pick up my car, and they're like, well, your total is $267. And I'm like, well, I talked to you guys this morning and I told you I had to work, and you told me that it was going to be $240 until midnight, and then after midnight it's going to go up $50. And then the guy said, well, I don't know who told you that information, but we, at 11 o'clock this morning, we tacked on additional fees. And so I just felt it like in my spirit at the time, like, you know, look at when it rains, sometimes it kind of pours, but that's just a test. And that's what I had to keep telling myself, it's just a test. And then even when I was at work, I didn't let it get me down. Like, after I changed my way of thinking, instead of being like, oh, sad for me, I started being grateful that, you know what, God, like, yes, I have a savings account. And that's why I always told, you know, I tell everybody I'm friends with, I even told you guys, if you watched earlier videos, it's important to have a savings account, because you just never know. Life happens and there's nothing you can do about it. Because even when I was talking to the guy and I was like, I live here, you know, and I was like, I really don't have that kind of money to spend. It's not that I didn't have it, it's that I didn't have it for that, you know. So it's like, come on, like, you want your emergency money to be for something more serious, maybe, you know, car repairs, or if something happened and you're short on your rent or something, you know what I'm saying, that you have that extra money, and not to just pay to get your car back. I just paid my car note. I literally just paid my car note on Friday. So it's like, I just paid over $300 for that, and then I turn around and have to pay almost another $300 to get my vehicle back, just because it was parked outside and you guys reported me, well, my apartments reported my car as trespassing because I didn't register it. So back to the point I'm trying to make. I mean, I cried, I did, because, you know, like, first off, it just felt that felt like trespassing to me. You took my property, you know, and then on top of that, it's like, it's just frustrating. It's like, you have to come up with all this money, you know what I'm saying, to pay for something, a mistake. It's not even like you intentionally did something. And then I always pay my rent early. I always pay my bills early. So I'm like, I'm a great tenant. I don't cause you any trouble. And then you call and report my vehicle trespassing because I didn't register it. You know, that really hurt my feelings. So I was hurt about it. And I cried and cried, and luckily the girl, she was so sweet. She was like, it's okay if you gotta cry, don't, you know, but it'll be okay. And so, you know, after she picked me up and, you know, took me to work, she was just like being just very understanding, and it helped. And then I started thinking, like, it was just like God was like, it's gonna be okay. And then I had other friends telling me the same thing, like, they were like, you know, checking on me, texting me and telling me it's gonna be okay. And it was like confirmation to me that it was gonna be okay, and it was. I changed my mind in that moment, and I started saying, okay, I have the money to get my car out, and I had a ride to work. I got to work, and I worked that day like nothing happened. Nobody knew anything, and you know, I told my supervisor, of course, but nobody knew anything because I just kept a smile on my face. I worked like normal. I was nice to everybody, hey, good morning, you know, just like normal, because I refuse to let the enemy take from me what God is trying to do for me. And so I know it's a test. I know you're tested in times. Because if God or your higher being gives you everything you want when you want it without testing you to make sure that the love is real, that the faith is real from you to him or from you to them, whatever you believe, you would never, you could a lot of times like, oh, I trust you, I trust you're gonna do this, and then you're just gonna be like, oh, spoiled and get what you want. But you're gonna get tested. And so I know I had to pass my test. So even when I went to pick up my vehicle and they said $267 after they just told me $240, I didn't argue. I was like, okay. I was like, well, I wasn't told that, and I was like, it's important that you guys let people know, because people don't have money like that. And what if I had just borrowed that money from somebody and I didn't have any money in my account and I only had $240? You know, like I just felt like they just needed to be more genuine. I just felt like they didn't care, and the guy was like, well, sorry, you know, if you don't have it, you can't take the car. Like, he just didn't care. And so I was like, I just went ahead and paid, got my car back. And I just began to thank Jesus on the way home. Thank God that I had the funds on my own without having to ask anybody else for help. I had the funds to get my vehicle out. And I just began to thank him. I said, Lord, in the midst of my incompetence, in the midst of me not doing what I know I should have done, yes, it was a big price to pay, but it could have been worse. Like, someone really could have stolen my car. They really could have, like, bashed in my car. Who knows? People here just, you gotta be careful. They're crazy. I could have, anything could have happened, basically. That could have been worse and put me in a situation where I wouldn't have had a vehicle at all, or I wouldn't have had a chance to get my vehicle back. So instead of being angry or bitter about it, I just began to thank God. I thank you, Jesus. Thank you for blessing me to have the money to pay for this. Thank you for blessing me to get my vehicle back. Thank you for, blessing me with the kind people who were around it and just giving me positive affirmations that things were going to be okay for me. Thank you for helping me to get through my day at work today. Like, I just thanked them and just glorified them, because in the middle of the storm and in the middle of your test, that's what you need to do most. You need to change your mind, change your way of thinking about stuff, and just praise them. Just praise them, praise them, praise them, because the enemy will try to, when he knows that God is blessing you, or that the universe is blessing you, whatever you believe in, when he knows that you're being blessed in some type of way, he comes to kill and steal and deceive you and trick you out of your blessings. He's conniving. So don't let it happen to you. Don't let it happen to the point where you start to backpedal on your faith. Don't only have faith when things are going good. Have it when it's going bad as well. So that was how my Monday went. And then Tuesday, I was supposed to go to Bible study. And this is another way the enemy works in the storms. But I started having really bad chest pain. I woke up with really bad chest pains, and I still went to work. I know that's crazy, but I still went to work because I could breathe, and my oxygen levels were at 100. So I was like, I'm still gonna go to work, but it was like so painful. Like, every time I would move, it was painful. And so after work, I ended up having to go to the urgent care and, just to get it checked out. And I did. Luckily, it was just like swelling between my rib cages. Between my rib cage. So bizarre enough, I didn't do anything. I didn't lift anything. But like the doctor told me, the cause is unknown a lot of times. So, but I went to the urgent care, and I was thinking I had plenty of time before Bible study was to start. But for some odd reason, it wasn't even that many people at the urgent care. But it took them 3 hours to see me. So I didn't make it to Bible study, but I still just gave thanks. I still just, thank you, Jesus, that, that I'm okay, and sometimes you just have to go with the punches. You have to make happy times out of times where it seems dark or it seems frustrating. When things don't go your way, or when things go off course of what you're used to, you still have to just smile and give thanks anyway. Because that's the only way that you're proving that your faith is strong. You build your faith that way, and not just that. Even if you don't believe in all that stuff, that's just how you build yourself up, and you don't fall and crumble underneath your hard times. In the rain, you don't drown. You just put on your raincoat, put up your umbrella, and keep on walking until the sun comes out. So y'all let me know what you think. That was just my little spill on my rainy days for this first couple days of the week. But I'm great, as you see. I'm still blessed. I'm still happy. And things are great. I got my car. I feel fine. My chest isn't hurting no more, y'all. So don't worry about that. I'm good. And yeah, I'm just pushing through still. And still saving money. You guys save money. Make sure, because in the case of emergency, y'all, you see what happened to me. it can happen. So save money and just make sure you do what you're supposed to do. Try to eliminate stuff like that from happening to you, any way you can, whatever it is in life. If you know you need to do something, do it. Don't procrastinate like I did, because it might just come back and bite you in the butt. And yeah, so let me know what you think in the comments below. Share one of your stories if you've had similar experiences, or whatever you would like to share it. We'll talk about it. I like to converse with you guys, and I like to hear your feedback. So yeah, just let me know, and we'll talk next time. Bye.